Entonces,
espérame. André, ¿puedes decirle a Asa que vamos a iniciar la sesión con María a las 14 horas de Suecia, es decir, en 28 minutos más?
Lo que sí puedes iniciar la producción
para ella.
para ellas.
Thank you. Now, yes, I can hear you now. I'm sorry, I didn't have that time to put on the.
Yeah, there was some misunderstanding. So they have to. We're supposed to start at 9, but
Okay, great.
you can start the interpretation, simultaneous interpretation for them around now, from now onwards, and then after we connect with the speaker.
So, Luis, I can't. Did you talk to me now because I couldn't really hear you?
No, I was saying that we can connect now the interpretation for Asa, the person is on the room. She can listen us in English and Spanish, and then at 10 we start with the interpretation of the speaker for the group. Is that possible?
Yeah, as you wish. Maria will be in the meeting in a few minutes. If you
Yeah, but
do whatever works for you.
Yeah, I think we can start with the interpretation for you, and then at 10 we do the interpretation for the group.
Yeah, okay, good.
Ya, terminamos, o sea, nos quedan 25 minutos. Entonces, me hablaba, la deforestación, dijimos.
Estaba pensando cierto la generación de energía nuclear o la hidroeléctrica inclusive es una energía limpia, pero puede agregar
los efectos.
en su momento cuando se empezó a explotar no se pensaba en esos efectos de en día sí cuando se va a hacer
es un riesgo. Correcto. ¿Qué otro problema visoran?
Esta es una emanación de hidrocarburos, o sea, sobre los vehículos que nosotros utilizamos, por ejemplo, son de hace 20, 30, 40, 50 años. Los buses, chatarra y...
Ya, la emanación de gases tóxicos.
además se subsidia al más contaminante.
Correcto. Y eso que ocurre en el Paraguay, cuando ustedes dicen acá en el Paraguay, ocurre en la mayor parte de los países. Por eso que tenemos los gases invernaderos, que precisamente van reduciendo la capa de ozono. Entonces, ¿qué es lo que nos impide disfrutar y desarrollarnos en un ambiente sano, saludable? Justamente ustedes lo dijeron, la desertificación, que la reconocieron como un problema, la sequía, la escasez de agua, que no es el problema para ustedes, pero sí lo es, por ejemplo, para Chile, que llevamos 10 años de sequía. 10 años de sequía. El consumo y producción de desechos. ¿Qué hace el mundo con los desechos? Y cada vez que entramos a un supermercado, nos venden todo en bolsitas. ¿Qué hacemos con todos esos desechos? ¿Qué hace la municipalidad? Que tenemos aquí a los trabajadores que hacen el proceso de recolección. ¿Qué se hace? Se va a botar a vertederos. ¿Hasta dónde la tierra puede tener vertederos? Con materiales que no se degradan en décadas. Algunos no se degradan, simplemente. El tema de lo que ya advertían ustedes, contaminación de aire y emisión de gases contaminantes, ¿verdad? El transporte, ¿no? La generación de combustible por leña. Son temas que van a dañar el medio ambiente, la contaminación del mar.
Fumigación descontrolada.
Está descontrolada.
La fumigación.
La fumigación, exacto. Y cómo estamos alterando los ciclos de la tierra con la fumigación, correcto. La biodiversidad, la extinción de las especies, ¿no? Y todo esto vamos a englobarlo también con los efectos que representa el cambio climático. O sea, cuando hablamos del tema medioambiental, no hablamos solo de un problema. Hablamos de muchas manifestaciones del problema. Cuando hablamos de cambio climático, nos estamos refiriendo finalmente a los efectos en el largo plazo que va a tener todas estas prácticas que son humanas, que son nuestras, no son propias de la naturaleza, son la intervención humana. Y entonces cuando hablamos estamos hablando de patrones que cambian el clima, que cambian las estaciones en el planeta y que aumentan o que cambian las temperaturas. Ahora, en la historia de la Tierra ha habido otros procesos de cambio climático, pero no se han debido a la acción humana. El periodo de glaciación, por ejemplo, cuando la Tierra se enfrió, tiene que ver con factores naturales. Pero en cambio, ahora esto no tiene que ver con lo que estamos experimentando es producto de la acción humana. Somos los seres humanos, estamos alterando, ¿verdad?, los climas y la temperatura en el planeta. Desde el siglo XIX, ¿qué se pasa el siglo XIX? Todavía el movimiento sindical. ¿Qué ocurre ahí? La primera revolución industrial. A partir de ese momento, todas las actividades que produce el ser humano, todas las actividades productivas, y cambios climáticos. Si ustedes ven las películas antiguas de Inglaterra, por ejemplo, ¿qué lo va a identificar? A Londres, Inglaterra, el humo. El humo, ¿verdad? El humo. ¿Qué era el origen del carbón? Esencialmente, ¿no? Y eso es la quema de combustibles fósiles. Carbón, petróleo y gas, básicamente. Que es donde hemos desarrollado todos los procesos industriales del siglo XX y que seguimos todavía produciendo. Cuando hablamos de calentamiento global, aquí tenemos que pensar cómo se produce este fenómeno. Y acá ustedes van a encontrar en esta gráfica que la energía solar baja a la Tierra y es absorbida por la superficie, por la Tierra, valga la redundancia, ¿se entiende? Pero una parte de esa energía, en vez de ser absorbida por la Tierra, rebota. ¿Ya? Cae la Tierra, así como si yo tirara esto, ¡pum! Hace. Una parte la absorbe la Tierra, otra parte rebota. ¿Sí? Esa parte que rebota no la deja salir, la retiene. ¿Por qué? Porque los gases invernaderos son como una verdadera película, ¿me entienden? Que no deja salir eso. Y al estar encerrado, ¿qué va produciendo? Calor, ¿verdad? Va aumentando la temperatura del planeta. Entonces, fíjense ustedes que las superficies en la Tierra tienen distinta capacidad de absorber esa energía. ¿Qué superficie será la que más absorberá esos rayos? La selva, los bosques, exacto. Las selvas absorben un 90%. Por eso el problema de los incendios, la deforestación, el cambio en las tierras de cultivo es tan grave. Las arenas, la arena, que los desiertos se incrementen, significa que disminuimos nuestra capacidad de absorción de rayos solares. La arena solo es capaz de absorber un 30%. Por eso cuando uno va a una playa, la arena está caliente. Y cuando uno va a una ciudad, una mega ciudad que está asfaltada, ¿cómo se siente el calor? Mucho más. Entonces, mientras exterminamos bosques, mientras exterminamos áreas verdes, mientras Cambiamos los usos de los suelos. Cuando construimos más ciudades, lo que estamos haciendo es disminuir la capacidad de absorción de estos rayos. Entonces tenemos menos absorción de los rayos solares, se reflejan y los gases invernaderos que producimos, que generamos a través de los procesos productivos, también del consumo, también del transporte, va haciendo imposible, ¿verdad?, que mantengamos la misma temperatura la Tierra. Y entonces, ¿cuáles son los principales gases invernaderos que emitimos? El dióxido de carbono, el metano, el clorofluorocarbono y el óxido nitroso. Estos son los principales 4 elementos. ¿Quién los produce? Ustedes lo dijeron. Los autos que liberan CO2 y transporte. De ahí que el tema, por ejemplo, el transporte sea un tema de lo público, ¿no? ¿Cómo es el transporte? ¿Qué tipo de combustible usa? Segundo, el ganado, porque liberan mucho metano. Y acá tenemos Uruguay, Paraguay y Argentina, que son productores de esta industria.
Pero vamos a España, mucho de propiedades de mecánica.
Pero por lo que...
Celulosa, hay una fábrica de celulosa ahora
que se va a cambiar.
va a ser vegetal.
Ya. Después tenemos la deforestación, que ya lo analizamos porque impide que absorber, ¿verdad? Los fertilizantes, que me los mencionó, ¿quién me los mencionó los fertilizantes? El tema de que producen precisamente el óxido nitroso. De gas.
De gas por el metano. Y luego un grupo de veterinarios se pronunció de manera que era una posibilidad, creo que para producir 25 millones de cabezas de ganado podía ser el máximo, pero hoy en día está en 10 millones, algo así, ¿verdad? Y pues ese es el enfoque que se le dio, no al desarrollo tecnológico de cómo lidiar con eso, sino no comprometerse con el cambio climático, ¿verdad?
Disminuir la cantidad de cabezas de ganado. ¿Ese fue?
El enfoque del grupo veterinario que estaba publicando eso era que se va a disminuir la posibilidad de ingreso económico del Paraguay, porque puede producir más teniendo más cantidad de animales, ¿verdad? Pero no era lidiar con la tecnología para poder llegar a esa cantidad. Y es tipo, no vamos a comprometernos con esto que nosotros no vamos a animar económicamente. Ese es el enfoque.
O sea, no aceptaron comprometerse con una meta de reducción.
Yo entendí que todavía no se firmó, pero que estaba en proceso de compromiso del Paraguay
Ahora,
no sé dónde fue.
El tema del ganado que libera metano, no se encontraron, no hay modificaciones que permitan disminuir el metano, sino cambiando el tipo de animales que se crían. Porque es básicamente la ganadería.
Pero el cerdo, por ejemplo.
Es que eso es distinto. La vaca es la que produce más metano, lejos, respecto de otros animales de crianza menor.
En el caso de que se hizo cargo de una chanchería que está ahí cerca, donde se está utilizando la producción de gases para generación de energía a través del...
Sí, efectivamente, la de los cerdos se ha logrado capturar, hacen unas grandes bombas donde van capturando y van produciendo energía. Pero para el caso del metano de la vaca no se ha logrado. Por eso es lo que están haciendo transiciones a otro tipo de ganadería menor. Pero Argentina, Brasil, Paraguay y Uruguay lo que producen es metano.
Pero aumentó el consumo. En Paraguay y Argentina luego aumentó el consumo de ganado. El problema es
¿Cuánto genera?
Adenta.
¿Cuánto genera?
Y ahora se va a Estados Unidos, de haber tenido Rusia, ahora se va a Estados Unidos como negocio y
Y el otro tema que tienen, vamos a analizarlo más adelante, es el tema de que como se ha cambiado el uso de suelo en el Paraguay, y que antes era 80-20, 80% de pequeñas chacras, agricultura familiar campesina, sustentable, sostenible. Hoy día lo que tenemos es prácticamente el 80% del suelo paraguayo es monocultivo. Y monocultivo toca el más importante, no el único, maíz también tienen, pero usan fertilizantes químicos que tienen este problema. ¿Cuánto? Sí. Y después tenemos el tema de los aerosoles, ¿no? Y ahí sí que participamos todos de ese proceso, porque cuando usted elige comprar un producto en aerosol, una pinturita, un desodorante, etcétera, hoy día ya hay tecnología que hace que hayan productos que no emiten ese tipo de gases, pero obviamente que son más caros. Entonces, los países...
Pero por ley se fue mejorando eso, ¿no?
Sí, se ha ido mejorando.
El gas refrigerante.
Pero países, mientras países más desarrollados han ido mejorando a través de las leyes. Pero los países menos desarrollados mantienen y sostienen estas tecnologías más antiguas, ¿no? Se comprende entonces cómo o cuál es el fenómeno y el ciclo de producción de temperatura y energía sobre la Tierra y cuáles son los problemas principales. ¿Se comprende ese gráfico? Sí, bueno. Entonces, este es un fenómeno que empezó a detectarse por parte de la comunidad científica hacia 1980. Pero por supuesto que nadie le hizo caso, porque la producción era más importante. Y aquí muchas veces, en esa época, los sindicatos han sido vistos como parte del problema, porque en muchas situaciones de industria conectada, etcétera, genera puestos de trabajo. Entonces también muchas veces han sido puestos en la disyuntiva de apoyar cambios versus quedarse sin fuentes de trabajo. Y la empresa privada ha usado el trabajador en esa situación, no ha puesto en esa situación, ¿no? No eran temas sindicales, estos temas no se conversaban, era la comunidad científica que alertaba especialmente sobre los problemas que se empezaban a verificar en los océanos, en los bosques, en las ciudades, en el calentamiento general. Solo en los últimos 10 años se empezó a tener conciencia de la magnitud y de los efectos que iba a traer sobre la población, sobre la vida humana, sobre el equilibrio ecológico, sobre las especies, ¿no? Es como que nos decían, la comunidad científica nos decía, va a pasar esto, va a pasar esto, y no, se elevaba a partir de combustibles fósiles, a partir de dos prácticas, y a pesar de que desarrollábamos tecnología que nos podía ayudar, no la usábamos. Y no la usábamos porque era más cara. Entonces ahí hay un modo de producción también de responsabilidad de la empresa privada de no invertir por no tener tantas ganancias. O sea, el lucro, y ahí hay una frase que es de la ISP. ¿Cómo es la frase del lucro?
El pueblo.
El pueblo sobre el lucro. ¿Qué quiere decir? Que la ciudadanía, la persona, el lucro, porque el lucro te da decisiones a los estados, a las empresas, en base todo al ganar, al tener ganancia inmediata. Entonces, este cambio en la temperatura del planeta, al menos nos va a asociar a 5 problemas: deforestación, destrucción de hábitats naturales, deshielo en los polos, que eso es pérdida de agua dulce, porque Por ejemplo, la Antártida, en el sur, es la reserva de agua dulce más importante que tiene nuestro planeta. Y se está deshielando. Antes, les cuento, la gente iba a Chile, al extremo de Chile, a hacer bueno, gente que tenía recursos, por supuesto, hacer cruceros. Y los llevaban a conocer los grandes hielos, los milenarios hielos. Y lo más que hacía la gente era tomar un poco de hielo milenario y tomarse un whisky cuando se llegaba allá. Era parte de lo que le contaba los recorridos turísticos. Hoy día lo que se les cuenta es, mire cómo se está cayendo mire cómo se está deshielando el otro. Tómese el whisky igual, pero sin hielo ya a esta altura. Sí. Entonces, ese es un problema también grave de hielo, las temperaturas extremas. Y los fenómenos meteorológicos extremos. O sea, ¿qué ha pasado? Piensen en el Paraguay en los últimos años. Cuéntenme qué ha pasado con el clima.
Ayer, bueno, la última vez en noviembre, a esta altura, yo haya pasado por el fresco, no sé cuándo habrá sido la última vez.
Con el fresco que hubo. Normalmente es puro calor. Lo comentamos con Luis que no habíamos sentido tanto calor. ¿Verdad? Ajá.
Hace 2 semanas, 10 grados.
Noviembre con 10 grados, nunca en Paraguay. Ya uno, para que nos escuchemos, los pobres compañeros en Suecia no entienden nada cuando hablamos al unísono.
No te alcanzan a traducir a ti porque el resto no lo escucha.
Ya. Entonces, exacto. Ustedes están anotando, entonces yo voy contando, relatando para nuestros compañeros en Suecia. Entonces, ustedes me están relatando hechos recientes de la semana pasada, de este año, donde vemos eventos extremos.
Llueve un día, se cae todo el mundo y amanece todo solado. Pero profesionalmente tiene que que se da cada cierto tiempo. Nosotros estamos acostumbrados al fenómeno del niño, que nos da sequías, lluvias eventuales, calor extremo, pero este es un fenómeno distinto que se da cada cierto tiempo.
Sí, pero el fenómeno de la niña y el niño, porque es la niña y el niño, el seco y el lluvioso, es natural. Aquí lo que estamos hablando de que estos fenómenos extremos ya no dependen solo del niño o la niña.
No, ya son totalmente aleatorios.
Son completamente aleatorios. Nosotros recordábamos cuando veníamos para acá, ¿verdad? Nunca habíamos sentido el frío que llegamos a sentir hace unos años prepandemia acá.
Eso que está diciendo Luis, que estar ahora a esta altura del año sin aire acondicionado, una cosa así,
no se podía. Exacto. Esa es la vivencia concreta, la crecida de ríos. Siempre ha habido crecida de ríos, pero no al nivel que en los últimos años ustedes han tenido.
Y además también es agresivo, tipo, hay una sequía y de repente cae muchísima agua.
Correcto, o sea, es muy brusco el cambio.
Es evidente que es algo muy anatural. La cantidad de ventarrones o tornados. Tampoco hubo así.
Tampoco estaban familiarizados con los tornados.
Y la cama de bien, son una casa de bien. Porque llegaba máximo a 100 kilómetros por hora para hacer la velocidad de viento, era el máximo para acá. Hoy en día está hablando de ráfagas.
Muchas ráfagas de viento a otras velocidades inimaginables.
Todas las horas de energía que es fueron calculadas en base a un viento de 120 a 140 kilómetros por hora. O sea que nunca antes alcanzaba el país. Una vez está viendo un viento que pasó esa velocidad.
Y votó Torres. Entonces, mira, qué interesante el ejemplo que tú das. No sé si lo alcanzaron a captar tú que estás con el micrófono en Suecia. No. Bueno, comentarles a quienes nos escuchan de Suecia que están relatando, y ahí estamos viendo los efectos muy directos sobre los servicios públicos. Cómo se hicieron cálculos de ingeniería en la empresa que genera la prestación de electricidad, la generación y distribución de electricidad, se calculó a una velocidad X del viento y superó, ¿verdad?, esa velocidad, y lo que tuvieron como efecto es caída de postes y caída del servicio eléctrico. Eso que ahí vemos la relación directa que tiene el clima sobre los servicios públicos, sobre la actividad que estamos desarrollando tradicional, normal, que hoy día se ve afectada. El tema de los desplazamientos. Cuando suben los ríos, cuando subió la otra vez el río, lo que tuvieron ahí es desplazados, cantidades de gente que los tuvieron en el centro de la capital de Asunción viviendo. Tú estuviste en esa situación. Por la subida del río fuiste desplazada. ¿Cuánto tiempo estuviste viviendo en esa condición?
4 meses.
4 meses viviendo en condiciones precarias.
Cuando llega, cuando tiene una altura de 7 a 8 metros, me toca mi casa.
7 a 8 metros ya te afecta. ¿Y eso ocurría antes?
No.
¿Te das cuenta cómo nos va alterando la vida?
Sí, pasó. De 8 que eran amigables,
Fue la más grande, según entiendo. Muy bien. Bueno, entonces estamos hablando de cosas que no son de libros, sino que estamos hablando de la experiencia concreta del Paraguay. Hay efectos directos sobre el medio que ya lo hemos visto, cómo cambian los ciclos naturales, ya la gente no puede hablar de cuándo van a guardar la ropa, las estaciones cambian, puede llover, puede hacer frío. La semana pasada, toda la semana puede alterarse.
En un día.
En un día, todas las estaciones. Piensen ustedes la semana pasada que se hizo noticia mundial, el avión que nosotros normalmente tomamos, el vuelo que hace justamente a Chile, que hubo una granizada tan grande que el avión perdió una de sus hélices, sí, y estuvo en una situación muy grave de emergencia, ¿no? Entonces estamos hablando de cosas muy graves, y la OMS la Organización Mundial de la Salud, y la Organización Panamericana de la Salud, hoy día sabe y tiene claro los efectos tan graves y permanentes que puede tener el cambio climático sobre la salud humana. Hay una relación muy vinculante entre lo que pasa en el medio ambiente y la salud. Respecto de los efectos más directos, los efectos indirectos sobre las formas de trabajo, el cómo puede afectar o dañar la salud, la falta de agua, ¿no?, los ambientes inapropiados para el trabajo, el aumento de enfermedades. Todo esto, entonces, ha sido de tal magnitud que ha hecho que organizaciones que desarrollan políticas globales sobre la salud tengan que hacer una alerta, porque ya no se trata solo del pasto, de los bosques, de la naturaleza, sino que se trata de los seres humanos, del desarrollo de la vida en sociedad y cómo la enfrentamos para seguir sosteniéndola en el tiempo. Vamos a conectarnos y retomamos después lo que viene, ¿de acuerdo? Las sillas adelante, adelante.
Vamos a comenzar ahora y vamos a acercar las sillas para que haya un mejor sonido, puedas captar mejor lo que hablan los jóvenes. Así que se van a colocar alrededor del micrófono. Te dicto ver. O sea, ya. 860, 73, 79, 54, 42. 64, 79, 77. Bien, Álvaro, no sé si estás por ahí.
Sí, dígame.
Hay que poner en anfitrión a María, porque no sé si María tiene una presentación, pero por si acaso, para que la pongan de coanfitriona.
Ok, ya está puesta María como coanfitriona. La vamos a incorporar entonces para que ustedes la puedan ver. Muy bien.
No te unes.
No, está bien, porque es que el audio que tenemos acá no lo tengo yo.
Andrea, no interpretes esto.
Are you getting ready? Okay.
Nayarit, te muteaste, por favor.
Bien,
I was thinking of showing pictures. Will they be able to see them? Do they have a good screen for that?
sí,
Okay, perfect. Thank
sí,
you.
tenemos una pantalla que se está proyectando en este minuto, donde ellas están saliendo al salón. Los compañeros de acá están viéndolas perfectamente, así que no hay problema, María. Bienvenida, María, bienvenida, Asa. Le voy a pasar el micrófono a Luis para que las presente.
Buenos días, compañeros, compañeras. Como hablamos ayer, hoy tenemos la suerte de contar con una presentación de parte de Vision. Ellos van a contar brevemente qué es Vision, pero desde ISP tenemos que decir que Vision es una de las afiliadas a ISP, como muchos de ustedes. En este caso, ellos están en Suecia. Y gracias a Vision este proyecto ha podido ejecutarse en los últimos años. Es la organización sueca que ha apostado en el trabajo conjunto con Union to Union, porque para que nosotros podamos optar a un proyecto con Union to Union, que es la cooperante, la entidad donante de Suecia, tiene que haber una contribución de un sindicato sueco aportando también un 10% de ese presupuesto, y es gracias a Vision que este proyecto ha podido salir adelante en estos últimos años. Además, Vision también se ha comprometido a apoyar el proyecto en su fase. Y yo tengo que decir a nivel personal que me impresiona mucho su sindicato porque está compuesto en su ejecutiva de gente joven. Es una experiencia realmente interesante ver a la gente joven en los puestos de responsabilidad, ¿no? Además de que tienen una organización muy sólida, muy buena, y eso trae mucha inspiración a todos aquellos que tratamos de estimular la participación de los jóvenes y el acceso de los jóvenes a los puestos de responsabilidad en las organizaciones sindicales. Osa me comentó que ella va a presentarse, pero Osa me comentó que tienen un programa en el que llevan trabajando desde hace años en este tema, que se llama Líderes con Visión, donde María, que yo no tengo la suerte de conocerla, pero parece que ha trabajado durante todos estos años, ella ya se ha jubilado, pero nos va a atender hoy para contarnos esta experiencia. Entonces yo quería contaros un poco el contexto que hay detrás y creo que es una suerte tenerles hoy para que nos cuenten cómo ellos han trabajado institucionalmente este tema no solo de trabajar con los jóvenes, sino de realmente hacer que los jóvenes tomen el poder de la organización y decidan lo que el sindicato quiere ser, ¿no? Seguro que todo eso tiene una historia detrás que pueden encontrar. Y bueno, gracias Sosa y María por estar ahí, por atender esta reunión. Tenemos aquí a 18, 20 jóvenes del Paraguay, muy motivados y que han participado muy bien en el proyecto. Y bueno, yo ahí ya me paro y bueno, quiero decir que el trabajo que está haciendo Nayaret y María Fernanda con este equipo, con este grupo es muy bueno. Ha habido una escuela sindical que se ha desarrollado en los últimos años y los jóvenes han manifestado cómo esta escuela les ha ayudado enormemente en ese trabajo que están haciendo. Entonces, bueno, creo que es una buena razón para que todos nos conectemos.
Muchas gracias, Luis, por aquello y muchas gracias a Asa María por estar hoy día acá y poder compartir una experiencia importante que también pude conocer cuando estuve en Estocolmo hace un par de años atrás. Annika estuvo también de visita en América del Sur y muchos de los líderes de visión también nos visitaron cuando el sindicato era SKTF y brindaron tanta solidaridad a los compañeros, principalmente de Chile, en la recuperación de la democracia, en el fortalecimiento del movimiento sindical de este país, y luego cuando amplían la solidaridad al resto de los países del Cono Sur. Estamos contentos también que hace un par de años Visión esté apoyando solidariamente al Paraguay, también en el fortalecimiento del movimiento sindical, en el incremento de las capacidades, tanto a los jóvenes como a las mujeres, y en todas aquellas herramientas que el proyecto ha podido aportar en estos últimos años. Como dijo Luis, esta es una escuela que nació en pandemia, al alero de la coyuntura. La hicimos durante 2 años de manera virtual, y hoy día ya estamos presencialmente haciendo esta misma actividad, y ha sido realmente un ejercicio metodológico, formativo interesante. Hemos reclutado jóvenes nuevos, socios motivados, que se sienten hoy día con la disposición para colaborar en el movimiento sindical paraguayo y hacerlo más fuerte. Yo solo quiero preguntar a María si ella va a pasar la presentación o prefiere que nosotros la pasemos.
Can I start, Naya? Yeah, I just wanted to make a small introduction of Maria and our work before she starts, if that's okay. Yeah, thank you. I'll take the floor then. I'm Åsa Janlöv, working as an international secretary here at Vision. Well, Vision is a trade union organization with 200,000 members, which is quite large here in Sweden. The largest within our sector is 500,000, and that is Kommunal. We have members within the local and regional government, and a majority of them are women. There's a lot of women within our organization. It was really interesting hearing your discussions on climate change, and I just wanted to tell you about Vision's recent work on climate. We've organized a role within the trade union, a green rep, a climate representative that will work at the workplace to try and find new ways of answering to the crisis, adaptation and the mitigation things that they can do in the workplace. Since the workplace is our arena for change, that's where we want to focus our work. And in our work, the leaders in Vision is really important. I know that there are 3 women within our executive board that has got that they've done this training, actually together with Maria, when she was still working at Vision. And one of them was yesterday at a side event of the COP27. It was in Sweden, but the COP27 in Egypt. The other one, that was Dalia Eid. Sonia, she was this morning with me in a digital meeting in Brussels, and Veronica Magnusson is the president of the organization. So this training has been very, very important. Also in the development of the organization and the need for change. Vision is also a changed name. It used to be SKTF, and Vision is part of the renaming of the organization is part of the working towards something new, a new picture, a new image of the trade unions. And yes, I'm really happy that Maria Wilhelms has been able to connect today. Because you, Maria, were together with Sten Magnusson, one of the people who initiated this leadership program, and I really want to hear more about what the struggles were, and what you anticipated, and then what the results are from it. Maria, over to you.
Thank you so much. Hello, everybody. It's such a pleasure and honor to be able to work for an hour. You know, I have retired, and sometimes I miss being a part of especially developing works and workshops with you people from other countries. This was part of my job, working with other countries. The other part was that I was working as a manager, training manager in Vision for about 10 years. And I will just be clear that I wasn't the one who initiated this program, but because there had been like an old way of doing it, which was very expensive, involved a lot of people, and it didn't give the results we needed. So in the late 2007-8, that's when we started to develop the program. And it's good for you to know that this program, I will share this screen with you, so you will see what's let's see what's happening. And here we have this, and I will press this, and here we go. I was gonna say that I think it will be a good hour for us if you like to ask questions. However, I can't see the chat, and I can't see when you raise your hands either. So if you like, take a pencil and write down the questions you get. So I will stop. After a few pictures, I stop and see if there's any questions. And then we can also have a dialogue in the end if you have any thoughts or what you think about this. This program was really important for Vision. It started, as Åsa said, when we were named SKTF. And I'm going to give you the background, why we needed this program for younger union members, and also what the program included, what different subjects that we did, and also a little bit of the results. And I love to hear your views and your thoughts about that. So let's start and see what we can find out. This picture is like, how should I say, like a trademark for this program. We always went to the same place where we had the training, and we always took a group picture when the program was done. And I don't know how many of you have Facebook, but I'm a Facebook person, and many of these people are Facebook people. And every year around the time when the program is finished, you know, in my Facebook group, I can see pictures coming up from this education, and it gives a very special and warm feeling to see the people. Now, you have to think, this is before sustainability, environmental items, that is almost everything that we are talking about. It is before Corona pandemic. It's, you know, it's running, the unions are running. It's the unions in Sweden, you know, they're quite good. We have a high degree of organization, but with the union that I worked with then, who were called SKTF, we had problems. We had a big change in government in 2008, and that meant that the unemployment funds and insurance changed a lot, which meant, as you can see here in the picture, that more than 500,000 people left the unions and the unemployment funds. And every union were asking themselves, what can we do? How can we get the people back? Because the unemployment fund used to be equal. I mean, you pay the same amount wherever fund you belong to, but now they changed it. So if you are in a fund for like cultural workers who had a problem getting a full-time job all the year round, they had to pay a lot more to the unemployment fund. So people left, they couldn't afford it. And then what also happened was that people left the unions. So we were in trouble. In 2007, we were saying, what are we going to do? We had also had for a long time, you see, the decreasing of the degree of organization. We were up to 85% of people working, now down to 71. So something really needed to be done. And young people, they didn't like unions. They thought, I can do this myself. I don't need a union. Why should I pay a lot of money to be a part of a union? So this was what we were heading and what was happening in the country. You can see here, this is SKTF Vision's membership. You see it starts 1977, around 120,000, and then it was in the 70s, it was great. I mean, the unions were very successful. Legislation was very good for the unions, so it went up. And then we came up to about 170,000 members. I think it was like 173,000. And then it started to decrease. Every year we lost members. We couldn't get enough, and we didn't have any plan for recruitment or anything like that. So it just kept on decreasing. And now we are at 2009, and something really needs to be done. Something else that also was happening was that a lot more people wanted a higher education. The first triangle that you can, if you see to the left-hand side, you know, it's elementary school, it's gymnasium, and it's college or university. So you can see most people, they are in the bottom. Most people, they left elementary school and started to work. That's how it used to be. Some went to gymnasium and less people went to universities or colleges. Right here in 2009-10, it's almost equal. I mean, we see that a lot more people go to gymnasium and some more people goes to university and colleges. But what we also could predict was that in the future, we will have less people just finishing after elementary school. They will continue to gymnasium and to college and university. And in Vision, at that time, we had most members who didn't have any university or college degrees. And you know, if you want to recruit a member to your union, it's good if it's someone who has the same profession as myself. If they ask you, would you like to become a member of this union? So we were in trouble. And we also said, if we don't recruit people who has finished university, college, then we won't have any members. We will decrease, and finally we won't be a union anymore, because nobody will come, because they will go to other unions, because in Sweden there is a competition between unions where professionals can belong. So this was also something in this picture that Vision was looking at. We had another problem. We knew that we were had focus on the few members, not the many. For instance, we looked at who are we helping, who do we negotiate for, who do we help out on the workplace. And when we calculated, we could say that 90% of the members never asked for any help from the union. And 10%, and that's high counted for, 10%, they got the help. So 90%, they were more or less paying to the union and not getting anything. So what we also needed to do was to change everything that we did, so you will be relevant for more people. I mean, why should I be in a union if I don't get anything out of the money that I pay? So that's why we were also changing. What could the union do to be more relevant for more people at the workplace? Yeah, if this is not enough, we have another thing coming, and look at this here. You see, we need to change the position. If you look to the left, when we asked people under 35, what do you think about the union? What do you think we do? Do you think we have a good value? And they said, no, you are old-fashioned, you are stiff, we can't influence, it's all politics, it's happening somewhere else, it's top management, it's unfashionable, you don't do anything good, it has low value for me, you only puts out fires, you have it's no coaching, I don't have any use for you. It feels like you are from yesterday and not for the future. And you are always against everything. You are never for anything. You don't come to a meeting and have an idea how to change it to the better. You always say, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. So what we needed to do was to get all of the people involved. Think 200,000 people, 15,000 representatives on different levels. They needed to change their whole way of thinking how the union should work and talk and be seen from outside. So we needed to reach that people would feel that they could influence the union, that it was development who was in focus. We were interested in what do they want, how could we change towards that? And also, I don't know what you call it, but we call it a puzzle of life. You know, children, education, work, you have some spare time things you want to do, family, relatives, and so on and so on. And all of us, we only have 24 hours a day. So nobody had the time to be involved and to be representative because it took too much time. So maybe I take a little short stop here and ask if any one of you have any input or any questions? Otherwise, I just continue. So I understand it's not that easy to just now you have the background now. So let's get into Vision, of course, did a lot of things, but one of them, which the leadership, the executive board said, this is a very important program, training program or education that we need to be able to do this big change. So that's why they said, we need to have this education. We need young people under 35 to step up, to become the ambassadors at the workplace and on different levels. The longer the program works, the more we emphasized on the workplace. I mean, you don't go the program to become a member of the executive board because that's such a small board. We needed a change to be all the way out in all the different workplaces. They should also be the future union leaders on different levels, to have the guts, to have the knowledge to become a union leader. And also, we also knew that they didn't know so much about what are our core values. What is the meaning of being a member in Vision? What do we stand for? What is the most important parts? They should be able to stand up in a workplace and to tell people what Vision thinks. For instance, if someone gets bullied, if someone gets harassed, you know, sometimes that could happen in a workplace, then the person from Vision should stand up and say, hey, this is not okay. This is not the way we behave in a workplace. So this was the purpose. And what is very important for you to know is that if you don't have the leadership, the executive board and the leadership in other boards around the organization, this won't work because it will be too tough for the people who are involved in the training if you don't feel the support from the leadership as it is right now. And this was a big thing because, as I will tell you, let me see, I'll come back to this in a little while. In Vision, as Åsa was telling you, we have members in all different parts, like in the municipalities, like in the regions, like in the church, like in for instance, water companies, electricity companies, and so on. And to be successful in this program, you need to make sure that there will come participants from all the different areas. And this is just to show you that we have had members from all or participants in the program from the different areas. That is a responsibility that the training people has to take for it to become successful. So what are we telling the people that want to go or want to participate in the program? We are telling them that after this program, you will have knowledge, you will dare, you will have the guts, and you will want to pursue the issues of Vision. This has to do with visibility. I mean, the union was not visible. Everybody thought, you remember, we were old-fashioned, we were just saying no to everything, we didn't want to participate in the future. This was one way people who wants to show that vision is important, and we want to work for these questions or these issues that are important at our workplace. We also said to the people, this is the beginning of your leadership development to become a union leader. We said, just because you are a part of this program, you are not like, after a year, you are not a leader and that's it. We taught them that leadership is something that you have to learn and practice your whole work time, as long as you work. So we said, you are not done, but this is a start. And I think that was important for many people to, when they wrote their application, that they said that, oh, I don't have to pass a test in the end where they will say I'm not good enough, because this was a start. And everybody started where they were, and they started their way to become a union leader. They also should know or get to know all about Vision's professional activities. In the program, we had many people coming to visit and to tell them about what people were doing. A person like Åsa, for instance, she will be invited to explain how Vision is working with unions in other countries. We will have someone from the executive board telling them what do they do, what are their issues. We will bring them to Congress. If it was a Congress year, we will bring them to the Congress so they could see what is happening there. What kind of decisions do we take in the Congress? So they could get as much knowledge and as a big network as possible after this program. They also get a personal development and an individual development plan. This was an important part, that they had to work with a mentor from their own local workplace, someone from Vision who was involved, who knew a lot about Vision, who were a good union leader already, who will be a part of this program as the mentor at the local workplace to open doors there, because we couldn't do that in the training program. So the mentors, they invited them to negotiations with the employee, to all different kinds of meetings, so they could get a broad view of what is it to be in a union and all the different things and projects that you can go about. I mean, it's not only to, for instance, be a part of a board. So this was very important, and it was towards these objectives that we choose the members. And just to show you a little bit, for instance, this is a girl or a woman. Her name is Jenny, and she was a social worker. And when she took the program, she thought that the social service was not good enough. So she started to arrange meetings and get everybody together to make a change. This woman, Sandra is her name. She didn't think that the salary for nurses at the dentist was good enough. She thought that it should be better divided, and she should be able to get, or she and her colleagues, of course, should get a better salary. So she started a group that worked with those issues. Marie here, she didn't like the health and care. She was actually a manager, and she thought that the health and care for managers was not good enough. So in the program, they were taught how to see a problem, talk to the colleagues around them, and then to start to work with that issue to get a change. Whoops, what happened now? Let me see here. Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry. There's someone calling me and it affects the... okay. So I continue. Let's hope it's finishing soon. Very good. Sorry for that. Now, the participants. How do we reach the people under 35? As I told you, they were not a part of the representatives or in a board or anywhere else. So we needed to find a way to invite these younger, I call them young, I mean under 35, you're not really young, but that was our way of talking about them as a group. But when I say the young, they are the ones under 35. We decided that we send invitation straight to them because we had email addresses for most of our members. So everybody under 35 were invited to be part of the program. Then we also, of course, send the invitations to local boards and to other important bodies that we have. Because if you spot someone, you could, in the organization, it was well known that we had this program. So if you spot someone, some new coming in or someone that, this person, that person should be a part of Leader of Vision. So we tried to pick people that we saw all over Sweden that could fit the program. Once they decided, they sent in an application. And they sent in, it was like a template because we needed to have the same way how they applied for a program, because otherwise it was too hard. How should we choose? Who should we choose? So that's why we had templates that everybody has to fill in. And in our organizations, we are 7 regions. We had like at least 200 applications every year. And it was not for us to just choose from them. So we used our colleagues in the different regions to help us pick out the right people. They interview them and they looked also where they came from. For instance, Sonia, that also was mentioning, Gothenburg, they were so good at sending applicants to this program. So we could fill a group with only people from Gothenburg if we wanted, but that's not how it could work. So we really needed to be aware of that the people came from different areas, because that's the strength, that you have people from all over the country. Then we need to make a selection, and that the regions will send in like 10 names where they had prioritized 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a way that they wanted. And this is done secretly because nobody should be involved in this, because it was quite sensitive who finally got a place at the program. So all these were sent in to Stan and me and another person. So we were 3 who then tried to put together a group that was as diversified as it could be, from all the different areas, from all parts of Sweden. And once we are done, we send it to the leadership of the organization. They approved, and then we invited the people to be a part of the training program. And after that, then you have to find the mentors, because the mentors are an important part. And not until we have which people want, who should go the education, then we can could find the mentors. One thing that was a problem here was that we said that we prioritize people under 35. Because as I told you, we had many people that were older who had been representatives for years and years. They were actually sitting on their place. If they were a chairperson, they wouldn't leave. And they hadn't been a part of the program. So they got kind of, I shouldn't say mad, but they wanted to be a part of the program. So they were fighting us all the time, telling us that we were discriminating, that we were not open enough, that we should let everybody who has been a part of the union for a long time be a part of this program. So as I told you from the beginning, it's very important that the leadership of the in the organization and the executive board, that they are supporting us and stand behind, because they're gonna be, at least it was for us, there were issues. And we could always say that we are doing this because we need to make the change. That's why we have this program. And to tell you now, after the pandemic, they actually have changed the programs. So 10 years later, all people can apply, even the older ones, I mean, 40, 50 years. There's only one little catch nowadays, and that is that you should not have been a representative for more than 5 years. So it's open now, but 10 years ago, it was important that we got the right people to participate in the education. Yeah. The same with the interviews. We use templates. It's really important that we as the group could compare the different applicants in a professional way, because we also have to say to people, you got a part of the program, you did not get a part of the program. So we really have to work this out in a professional way. And I think we got, some people, of course, got very sad and tried to get in, even if they didn't got a place. But you have to be very firm with a big heart to tell them that this time there is no room for you, but you can always apply next year again. So it's important that that works in a good way. Also, do you have an idea?
No, I was thinking maybe we could take a little break for the participants to talk together.
Yeah, absolutely.
To see if they can, if you have any questions, reflections, just for a couple of minutes, and come back to Maria, if there's something specific that you're thinking about.
Compañeros tienen muchas preguntas que hacerte en este minuto, entonces debería sacar a la imagen.
So let's take a few questions now, because then I'm going to get a little bit more into the program. So let's take a few questions.
Álvaro, ¿puedes sacar la imagen? Oh, ahí, perfecto. Ok. ¿Quién quiere hablar? Fátima. Háblame. Fuerte.
Bueno, me presento, mi nombre es Fátima Larisa Fernández. Bueno, una pregunta que quería hacer. Al principio comentaban que Visión es un sindicato con muchos afiliados, entiendo, un sindicato unido por ende. Entonces, comentarte la realidad un poco de Paraguay. Tenemos un problema importante que es la fragmentación que existe de los sindicatos en un sector. En mi sector, por ejemplo, que es el sector municipal, existen 5 o 6 sindicatos. Las centrales sindicales en Paraguay están súper fragmentadas también. Existen 9 centrales en Paraguay. No sé si en este minuto se va a estar creando otra central incluso, porque es así. Entonces, eso es lo que repele un poco a los jóvenes, hace ver como que el sindicato, o sea, no es que hace ver, hace que el sindicalismo en Paraguay sea bastante débil de alguna forma por la fragmentación que existe. Entonces, ¿cómo hizo visión y cómo podemos hacer nosotros para en algún momento llegar a que exista una unidad así en Paraguay?
A very good question. You know, this program actually was a part of Vision being able to get more members, because a part of the program has to do with recruitment. How do you go about getting new members? We have tried so many different ways, so many different things, because we also have a competition, as I told you, between the unions in Sweden. The thing was that we have to ask the question. You have to go up to a person and say, hey, would you like to join a union? What are your interests? What do you want to, what do you think we could improve, or what do you think we could make better in this workplace? And that has actually shown that every time you ask a question, of 10 questions, at least 1 or 2 will join the union. So you see, that's one way. And since we were the only union who had this kind of program, that also drew younger people to us, because it was considered such a good program. The people who had finalized the program, they spoke so well about it, and they said, this is a great program, this is what you should do, because the standard was really high. And to get a leadership training program as a 30-year-old, for instance, was quite unusual, even in a workplace, even if the employee pay for a program. So for that reason, it was part of being successful. So we went from 173, and now we are over 200,000, which we didn't think. But this program, together with other things that we did, the ones that I was telling you, you know, not only see the few, see many, that have many things in Vision that you could use on a daily basis, not because you have a problem, but because my union provides different things to us. Is that an answer enough?
It's hard to give advice, since we are not, I
Yes.
mean, we are very much, we understand our culture and where we come from. So we can give you answers based on what we have experienced. Your experience is absolutely, definitely most different than ours. So just listen to what we have and take with you what you want. Let the rest, you know, leave it be. If there's something that you like, hold on to it and bring it with you from this meeting. But then there's going to be many things that you don't understand, or well, this is not, I mean, we've tried this, asking the question. We do it every day. That's not a good, you know, there might be a lot of things happening inside of you, but this is where we come from. We have within the private sector, there's a Unionen, which is a mega trade union that they used to be, I don't even know how many trade unions gone together to create this big trade union that is Unionen. I don't know, Maria, do you know how many members they are?
Yeah, I think nowadays they are up to 700,000.
Yeah, so 700,000 is really, really big. It's a really big union. So
and also, it's important also to see that this is like not a fragment, because it has have an importance, but for you to maybe find sparkle or something that we could try, because I know when I met you guys, we brought things back that we changed so it will work in Sweden. I think that that's the way to go about, because we also have different legislations and everything, so it's hard, the whole thing.
¿Alguien más quiere preguntar? Vamos a hacer dos preguntas más, María, que aquí los compañeros están levantando la mano.
Bueno, me presento, mi nombre es Engelberto Gonzaín, soy miembro del sindicato de la ITQ Nacional del Sector Energético. Quería hacer una pregunta a María con relación...
Gilberto, lento porque está siendo interpretado, por favor.
Quería hacer una pregunta a María con relación a lo que habían comentado sobre el tema del formulario para captar candidatos. Habían dicho que para seleccionar los jóvenes tenían un formulario con ciertas características que habían llenado para la selección. Mi pregunta era, en particular, una vez que seleccionaban los candidatos de los diferentes lugares, ¿cómo hacían para conseguir que ellos participen con relación a los permisos para que ellos participen en los cursos o talleres? ¿Cómo hacían con los empleadores para que le den permiso para participar de estas charlas y talleres?
Germán.
Yo más que una pregunta es una acotación que si bien los consejos que ustedes nos dan están adaptados a su realidad, a nosotros tener la oportunidad de tener una escuela sindical de jóvenes líderes acá en Paraguay nos da las herramientas necesarias para que nosotros mismos interpretemos y podamos buscar las estrategias para poder encontrar las soluciones a todos los mismos problemas que quizás se presenten en otros países o que presenten los jóvenes. Entonces, esas estrategias van a ser creadas por nosotros mismos a través de los conocimientos que nosotros recibimos en esta escuela sindical.
Dale.
Mi consulta es cómo hicieron para que el sector privado se sindicalizara, para que tengan, por ejemplo, 700.000 personas afiliadas en un sindicato.
¿Ok? Gran pregunta.
Yes, if I take thank you for the questions. The first question, I have a picture of exactly that question. So as soon as we are done with this, I will answer the first question, how the program developed and what we did. But to answer the last ones, how we get people from the private sector. The thing is that we don't have many members in private sector. I don't know if it's the same still, Åsa, but when I was there, it was like 70-30. 70% belonged to municipality and 30% to private sector. But we got people from private sector because of the good reputation of the program. Because once we had selected a person, they got the program and they also got which people were going to be involved and what classes to take. And then they went to their manager and said, I have been invited, I have applied, and I got this part in this training program. Is it possible that I can take time off to be a part of this training? And it was very, very rare. I think it was one person who didn't get free time from work to be a part of this training program. So we have a completely different situation. I mean, in Sweden, unions are considered quite okay among employees, and they also know that we have a good educational program which will help at the workplace. So for us, sometimes we had problems, but not at all as much as one would think.
And I also want to add that what I think is really important to bring with you from this is the leadership support within the organization. If there's no leadership support, it's really hard to develop this part, like inclusion of young and women.
and also leadership on the highest level, but also the leadership in the local municipality, the board there. I mean, you take that chairperson should take this participant and go to the employer and say, this person has just become a part of this training program, and we are so proud, and it's such a good program. Is it possible? So, you know, they get the support from everything that they can. I can't stress that enough. That's really important. Okay, shall we continue a little bit about what's in the program?
Yes.
It could be a little bit detailed, but I hope that you enjoy to listen what we are saying. So let's see here. Where we have, here we are. The interviews, we are done with them. Okay, now here is a plan of the different activities with the program. Before the participants start, we have an education for the mentors, because we think that for the mentors to be as good as needed, they also need a training. What is a purpose? What are they gonna do? What do we expect from them? And also to talk to them about time, because that's always a problem. Everybody wants to be a member or a mentor if they have someone who participates in the program, but then they don't have the time because they are going to meetings here and there, and they never have time to meet the participant. So that's why we say you have to set off time to meet with your participant. And we wanted them to meet at least every third or fourth week, a little bit more in the beginning, and then every fourth week towards the end of a program. That was really important if it should work. Then we have the first training session, and you can imagine people dropping in from all over Sweden, coming from all different places, sitting in a bus on the way to this special place where we had the education. And that bus ride, you know, it was quite quiet, and people sitting there and started to say, hello, my name is this, and my name, and I come from here, and I come from there. Towards the end, when after the last meeting, when we go home, then it was like crying, oh, I don't want to leave you, when am I going to see you again, and so on. So these 4 training sessions made quite strong bonds between the participants, and that was one part of this, that they should form a strong network, because Sten and I were not going to be around, but they are going to be around for quite some time, so they should have each other. From the very beginning, they start thinking about their own development, because until the last time they are writing my union development plan as a paper. So that's kind of the test, or the exam was that they presented their paper. This is my own union development plan during this year. Those stories, I have said I would like to give out a book, because they are so strong and it's so interesting to read. Some of them, shy people, actually not really wanting to take the position, and then in the end it has become something completely different. Very, very interesting and satisfying as a trainer to read. And during the whole period at the workplace, they also had their mentor meetings and networking at the local level, so they are able to be a strong leader at the workplace or in the environment where they are. We also had a Facebook group, a secret one, and that was because we needed somewhere where we could write things, and I could send out, don't forget till the next time you need to do this, or bring that, or well, it could be anything, or look in this page here, you can read something interesting. So we tried different sites or different ways to have this communication. And at this time, Facebook was the thing that people used. So we had to have the group there because that's where people actually were participating. We had a group on our homepage on vision.se. It didn't work because it took forever for them to get in. They always forgot the password. So there were no communication. So this one was what we found out was best. But we were always very clear about this is Facebook, and we don't share any secrets here that could be, you know, a problem for someone. So everybody knew what it was. You can also see workplace meeting, because we wanted them to stand out, to become leaders. We also, with their mentor, they invited their colleagues to a workplace meeting. And I think that nowadays, that could be about climate, green representative. In those days, it was everything like profession. It could be about health and safety. It could be about salary. But they really had to practice how to invite, how to welcome people, how to stand in front of the group and say something, and how to end, and how to keep connecting with these people. It was a very good thing for them to do. We also had web seminars. One was about Vision's trademark, because if they were going to be Vision on the workplace, they also needed to know why it's so important. Why is it important to use Vision's color? Why can't you just do like everything you wanted? Nowadays, you know, everybody's talking about trademark and branding and so on. So that was one part. It was a webinar and it was good for them to hear. The other webinar was about balance in life, because I think some of you sitting in the room are the same. You are people who are involved in things and you have a lot to do, and we only have the 24 hours a day. So they needed to be able to find a balance in the work life. So we had a webinar about that to give them some tools, what to think of and what to react to when they were going too far, when they had too much to do, when they couldn't sleep. Things like that happen because when you go a leadership, when you are a part of a leadership education, very often you start to question things about yourself, not only at the workplace, also at private. And we are not counselors or psychiatrists or something like that. So they needed to get the tools how to handle themselves. And then after the fourth session, we continue to meet. We have an annual meeting called Ledare i Vision Alumni. And that's how we make this network bigger and bigger and bigger. Always with an interesting issue, something that is important to fill them up with new energy and new strength and back out again. So this is how the program was set up. Usually we started in around March, April, and we ended in early December. So it's for about a year. We thought that that was a good time. Too long, it will be too stretched out, and too short, it will feel stressed. And here is, you know, I show you this picture just to show you that in our magazine, the Union magazine for Vision, they write about leaders in Vision. And that's very good, because that's also how you communicate to the whole organization that this program exists. So here are two, older guy who was working at her workplace, and Josephine, who you see here, she was the one who participated in a program. Today, she is a top manager in her municipality. We also talk about social media, how to handle when you get attacked or abused, abused verbally. And some of them were really badly handled. So we talked about that, what to do, what the organization have to help out if something like that happened. This guy he comes from the church. He tells about the program, that it was such a good thing because you can test how you think about leadership. And she is a manager, and she really wanted to be a part of a union leader in Vision. So this woman, she comes all the way from up north, way up, where they have a long distance. She is still a part, and she thinks that this education was very important as a part of her leadership. Now here, I don't know if you know, but this is Dahlia, who is in the executive board nowadays. So that's how you can see that there are lots of people coming from different places. A little bit more into the education. As I said, 4 training sessions over 2 days. Overnight, sleeping away. It's important because it's not only what happened during, as you sit like this in groups, it's also important what's happening in the evening, when you take walks, when you have dinner, and when you have time to just relax. We also have literature studies, and we had a book called Group Psychology, and the guy who wrote that book, he was also a part of the program. He came one day and worked with the group and with their own leadership, which was quite effective. The regular meetings with a mentor, I told you, the development plan with goals and milestones. They had to work with their own goals and objectives. How do you set a goal and how to reach them? Reflection book, we started with that from the very beginning. They hadn't been at place for more than, I think, 2 hours when they wrote the first reflection. And then they wrote every time all the things. So that's what that book was, what they used when they wrote the paper in the end. The profession activity I told you about. They also had meetings with, I don't know how it works with you, but we have different regions in Vision. And that's also where the mentor took them to meet other representatives for the union. I told you about the balance and the trademark and the discussion, and the last thing is the paper. So a little bit about the results. Since 2002 and up till this time, it was 2017, more than 200 people were a part of this program. 45 people had left the area. That means that they couldn't be a member in Vision anymore. Maybe they are a member at Unionen or some other union, but they have left the Vision. Of the ones left, 148, 125 people became elected representatives of some kind at the workplace, which is quite extraordinary, because when you look for someone who wants to take part or be someone, a representative for Vision, it's sometimes could be hard to find someone. But you see here, almost every one of them took upon themselves to become a representative. And of those 148, more than 100 also was elected to the board at the local position. And of those, 45 of them at this time became the chairperson of that local board. So it's quite good results for the training program, I think. We were very happy with it, and the leadership of the organization were very happy with it. And that's why the program has been continued year after year after year, all the way up until now. It's still a very popular program. It would be nice to see what the numbers are now, but as Åsa told you, I retired, so I don't have access to these numbers anymore. And just to finalize, Leaders in Vision, the alumni part, I think that's one of the key issues that they keep on meeting, that they see each other every year. They look forward to this, and they think that it's exciting to meet and to see what has happened and what steps they have been taken. The last picture is just, you don't have to see everything, but what I just want to say is that it's not only the leadership in the organization, it's also the internal communication. I showed you what has been in the magazines, but also to make everybody aware of what the program is all about, when it's going to happen. So persons involved that I've been telling you about, they know, okay, in February, that's where this is going to happen. In August, that's when that's going to happen. Because if you have, everybody has the whole view, it's so much easier for the people who take part in the program. And the strong connection that the program makes is also that we always said that together we build vision, we make the future, and we make people grow. And I think that that is what lived with these people who took the program with us. That was more or less what I had thought about what I should say, but I'm eager to hear if there are any more questions. Of course, there are many, many, many things that I could tell you, but I think that now you at least have a picture of what it's all about.
Gracias, María. Tengo 3 preguntas de los compañeros que están acá en el salón.
Buenas tardes, María, me presento, soy Nayara, de los sindicatos de universidades de la Universidad Nacional de Asunción, y mi pregunta era que todas esas movilizaciones, esas captaciones de socios, si hasta hoy en día se pudo lograr la misma cantidad de socios que tenían en el inicio, si pudieron lograr ese objetivo como sindicatos. Y si la mayoría de ellos aún siguen siendo jóvenes o si siguen siendo adultos mayores.
Okay.
Bueno, yo soy Rolando Vera, soy del STEI también, del Sindicato de Trabajadores de la ITQ Nacional, del sector energético. Y realmente una consulta y acotar un poquito algo que concluí personalmente de la exposición, ¿verdad? De hecho, en Paraguay tenemos el tabú todavía de lo que es el sindicato y los gremios, las centrales, y entiendo que principalmente necesitamos una reforma educativa profunda en realidad, ¿verdad? Porque ahí nace mi pregunta, si forma parte de la educación ya la enseñanza del sindicalismo, por ejemplo, en Suecia. Porque aquí muchos docentes abiertamente, dependiendo de su posición particular, opinan al respecto, no una información así infundada, bien sostenida en algo, sino crean esas dudas en los niños y van saliendo con eso a la universidad. Entonces después es muy difícil es muy difícil hacerle entender la importancia de unirse, de generar gremios, de posicionarse, de salir a los servicios públicos a defender realmente. Entonces me gustaría tener un poquito más de conocimiento de cómo hacen eso en Suecia, cómo trabajan esa niñez, cómo trabajan esa adolescencia en función a la importancia de los gremios.
Gracias, Rolando. Francisca, fuerte, por favor.
Buenas tardes, me llamo Francisca Jiménez del sector municipal. Mi pregunta es, ¿cómo el sindicato motiva a las y los jóvenes para que participe en el sindicato? Pues en Paraguay cuesta mucho lograr eso.
Ok, entonces tenemos esas tres preguntas.
Quiero consultar algo.
Sí.
Mi nombre es Yamile, soy del sindicato Citrama, el sindicato de trabajadores de la municipalidad. Y pregunta en sí es, ¿cómo se ha beneficiado el sindicato con la llegada de los jóvenes a los cargos de decisión en visión?
Ok. ¿Están claras las preguntas entonces, María?
Absolutely. Let me see if I can. I took a little bit of notes here just to know. First question was if it's still young people or if there's older people. Yeah, actually, also, I don't know if you know, because I'm not really that involved. I think that there are a little bit more older people who wants to be a part of the program. And that has to do with the reputation of the training program. It wasn't as, how should I say, spoken so well about from the beginning. It takes, this takes time. It has taken maybe 3-4 years. And then, you know, it really started to pick up and a lot of people were talking good about it. But I think that there's still younger people involved because I think they still want to have young people, but it's another mix now than it was before. And I think that could be interesting as well, because if you're a little bit older, you have another experiences, and that could be another part of the program that actually we as a trainers had to stand for before, because many of them hadn't been around on the workplace for too long. I hope that will answer your question. And then it's about union teaching. Yeah. Union, the training system and the teaching from the union is not a part of this national education system at all. All unions are struggling with education. How much of what we need to train our representatives and members do we need to do on our own, or could we buy it from other companies or like training companies or from universities or college and so on? And since Vision is quite a big union, we have a large educational department. We were also very fast in making e-learning. E-learning was good because all people from all the country had an easy access to knowledge. But it goes up and down. Sometimes it's very questionable from especially private sector, and depending on what political party who's in charge in a municipality, it can also be tough. In many municipalities nowadays, we have the right wings or the conservatives in charge, and they are not very pro-union. And I know that some unions have quite a tough time to take time off to be a part of education. So it's not an easy access always. It's something that we have to fight for every year or every day. But I think that with good quality, open access to what is in the program, and not try to hide it or be secretive or anything like that. But of course, it is a part of the union, so it has nothing to do with anything outside of the union. Now, the municipalities sector encouraged young. I think what's encouraged the young is that the young person tell them why they are involved with the union. If I come up, I'm 64 years old. If I come up and tell them how good it is to be in a union, it's like, oh, yeah, you can say that, you old lady. But if someone at my own age, and even better, if they have the same profession as I, like for instance, if a social worker comes up to a social worker and start to talk about what good is it to be in a union or to take part in the union issues, that's much, much stronger. Because we rely and we trust people who come from the same, how should I say, as myself. I hope that will answer your question. And, what was the last question?
How we have benefited from young people taking part.
I mean, we are increasing. The membership is increasing in Vision. I should have shown you the continuance of that, you know, that going down, down, down. It has turned and it's going up, up, up since we changed name in 2011. And I think that is a joint effort from all people involved, all members, all representatives, leadership, leader in Vision program. Everybody is very aware that if we should have success in negotiations at the workplace, if people should find it interesting and a good thing to be a part of union, then we have to be more than just one or two being a member at the workplace. So I think we have benefited quite a lot from it.
Also to say that the pandemic has been hard for membership. We have not increased as much as we did before the pandemic because we are not out. We haven't been out talking to our soon to be members. We haven't met them face to face, and I wanted to go back to the role and the view of the trade union. This has been a very the Vision together with the central organization TCO have worked very hard in changing the perception of the trade unions from like the old man, big belly drinking alcohol to your next door neighbor, like your just as young colleague at the workplace. It's just someone who's really interested. There's been many crisis moments for the trade union movement when Kommunal, that the other big municipality trade union, their leader had to, the head of the organization had to leave because there was some troubles with money, and it was all over the media, and that really affected us as well. It always affects the whole trade union movement when there's one trade union that's not behaving well. There's the academics within the church that are using money, like it's really like corrupt the way they're using money, but they don't really own up to it. So we've gained members within the church because they didn't want to be a part of that union anymore. But that's really hurting. We're talking about trademark here, but it's another way of talking about the view of the organization, what people consider, are you well esteemed within the society? So this estimation is really important, to find ways to get to better estimation of the trade unions. And for you, maybe it is to try to go more together, to show more unity in any way you can, because the fractionalization of the whole, you being so many different entities, might be hurting the image of the trade union. It's hard to see how to develop, but yeah. Tell me more about your challenges.
And also, I also think that as a younger person, how do you choose? What is it that makes you become a member of this or the other union? What is it you have in your union that makes someone become a member? And if it's similar as the others, how do you get them to join your union? I think, like in Sweden now, we had 2 big teachers unions, quite big unions with over 100,000 members each. They had joined together now and has become one union. So even in Sweden, as the other one you were talking about, Unionen, Vision has been talking about joining together with other unions for some time. The bigger, the better. That's actually a good thing with the union.
Naya, are there any more questions, or should we start to wrap up?
Bueno, buenas tardes, me presento, yo soy María Carmen, de la Asociación Paraguaya de Enfermería, APE, y mi consulta era, ¿verdad? Ustedes mostraron un gráfico donde mostraban más o menos que en los años 1980 alcanzaron un pico máximo de asociados y tuvieron un lapso 2008-2009 donde fue disminuyendo la cantidad de socios. Mi pregunta sería saber cuáles fueron las estrategias específicas o el plan de acción que ustedes utilizaron, ¿verdad? Para una vez captados más socios, evitar esa deserción o esa inactividad que tenían. Porque una de las problemáticas que tenemos nosotros por parte de la Asociación de Enfermería es que una vez ellos asociados, una vez que ya están afiliados, llegan a un punto donde se vuelven inactivos, ¿verdad? Y cómo lograr esa participación otra vez.
Sí, dos preguntas muy rápidas y gracias por esta muy interesante experiencia. La primera mencionaste al principio, creo que fue Asa o María, que ustedes tuvieron que hacer cambios en la estructura de la organización. Aquí en el modelo sindical latinoamericano en general todo es muy orgánico. Se necesitan tomar decisiones políticas. ¿Hubo algún otro tipo de cambio en la estructura política, algún tipo de decisión política clara y cómo se manifestó eso en los estatutos o en algún tipo de documento más político o cambio en las estructuras, algún tipo de mutación? Y la segunda pregunta es si tienen los datos de cuántos de estos líderes que ustedes han formado han accedido a la Comisión Ejecutiva Nacional de Visión, no solamente de los sindicatos afiliados, y hay líderes también que han llegado a la Comisión Ejecutiva del Sindicato Nacional.
Absolutely. And then there is one more thing that we haven't mentioned, but maybe you know this anyway, if you've been working with Vision. We have something called Vision Direct, which is a very, very good service, because this is a place which is open from 8 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock in the evening. And you can call, or you can write to them by email, or you can chat with them about anything that concerns yourself, your work, and the workplace. And this has become a very, very good support for the locals and for anyone who is employed by Vision, because we could use this always open office to help us with different types of questions. And I know I was discussing this, I think it was with the unions in Botswana, and they said that's an idea that they might think about, to have like a phone where they can channel all the different issues that people know that if you call this number, someone always answer, and they know a lot about these different questions. I think that that's also something that has benefited Vision. But this change that you actually are, that I was telling you about, it took years. It's not done yet. It took tough, I mean, the discussions and the negotiations at the Congress every other year were really tough, because you have the ones, you know, quite, they know what we have, but we don't know what we're gonna get. Are you really sure this is the right way? Are we really gonna, are we there? Do we want to do this? But I think that Vision has done an impressive change over year. And that's also why I think it's increasing in membership today.
That's why I started working at Vision. In 2018, I started working as an ombudsman at the Stockholm regional secretariat, where you work really close to the members and giving extra help to all the trade union elected people. And Vision being like a modern trade union to the forefront and trying to change. That's a movement that I want to be a part of. I don't want to be working at the other trade unions that I used to work at, because they were not to the forefront. They were still working with the old things, that the old way of thinking that they used to have. So for me, Vision is interesting because it is developing, and it is absolutely not, I mean, it's a work in process. It's really not perfect, absolutely not. There's always, like, you can always do better with democracy and all these involvement, and but people want change. They want to, like, the whole feeling of this organization is going forwards, finding answers instead of only thinking about the problems, trying to find solutions to what can we do? What can I do about the climate? I can at least try and see what I can do at the workplace, in my home, and to work where I am. That's why I want to be a part of Vision, at least.
Bueno, muchas gracias, Asa, muchas gracias, María. Creo que aquí los jóvenes han quedado súper motivados con el programa de formación para líderes de visión. Entonces, creo que vamos a nutrirnos con esta nueva experiencia. Vamos a, como decía Asa, las realidades de los países son completamente distintas, pero creo que tomar lo que ellos consideran podría servirles para su propia realidad, la verdad es que es un avance, un aprendizaje que nos llevamos todos el día de hoy, la mañana de hoy. Así es que muchas gracias por estar hoy día con nosotros y compartir esa experiencia valiosa de visión. No sé si quieres decir algo, Luis.
Gracias.
Fernando.
Gracias.
Ok, entonces, compas, pasamos a un café hasta las 12 y volvemos. Y retomamos.
Gracias.
Thank you so much. Wonderful to see you.
I'll stay put.